Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm the Angry Simmer, and today we're going to get down to business on decorating this amazing... That's right, we're going to catch back up with the Clauses, see what's going on with them, see what we can put into a beautiful home for them, and then continue on with some more Christmas spirit tomorrow as well. I've got a slightly less Christmas themed video planned for tomorrow, but in the end she ends up being very Christmas themed, and by that I mean I am going to be making a shop owner tomorrow for you guys, and then I'll be making her shop where she'll be selling Christmas ornaments and toys and gifts and things like that. And so my idea was that she used to work for Santa. She was an elf, and she just decided, you know what, I love working for Santa, and I love making sure that there's joy for all the children of the world, but the parents sometimes need help the rest of the year too. So that's what we do. We take her, and she builds her own shop with a nice loan from the Clauses because they're a fantastic family and they love what she's gonna do. So that's what we do. But here we're working on Mrs. Claus's kitchen. It goes through a couple of renditions. I love the way it turned out. Once we get to the final portion of it, you'll see that it's everything Mrs. Claus would need. So I personally don't get to use this particular stove very often, but I managed to think of a way to incorporate this. I just personally think that Mrs. Claus would find certain things that she just loves and decide to keep those in her home. And so there's going to be some mix of old and new, and it's very rustic. And just, I want the whole home, or I wanted the whole home to feel like you're going to your grandparents' house, and a very wealthy grandparents' house, but you know, everything is curated and made just so the way that Mrs. Claus would want it. And you know, any good grandmother's kitchen is not complete without a pantry. Gotta have lots of storage for the grandkids' snacks and things like that. And we put in tons and tons of storage in here as well. I'm not 100% sure if I love those cabinets in particular. I wish they came in maybe like the tone of the floor, that sort of tone, stone top with more of a dark colored dark colored cabinet, but with making all of those cookies and things like that, of course the house is enormous because like we talked about yesterday, you know, I feel like maybe the elves stay sometimes. They have lots of family over, lots of parties. They're very, very old, so I imagine that they have a lot of friends, family members, you know, all kinds of folks coming to visit them. And I still need to like change a few things. I need to add some more to this to really make it work for the gameplay that I want to do. But I thought releasing it the way it was, it could give you guys a little bit more freedom to do what you would like with it. Because right now Santa's family is his two daughters, and then one of theirs husband and their teenage daughter, and then I wanted to add one of the younger daughter to adopt, and I was hoping that the oldest daughter would have another child, so that's all built into here. But because it is a huge build, because we're on the 64 by 64 lot in Windenburg, or on Windenburg Island, it's just as long today recording this for the decorating, so bear with me, guys. You know, there's just no way to shorten it any more than I did. I've actually got it sped up really, really fast, so hopefully you don't mind, but it took me a while, and I had to keep stopping, and I had some stuff going on, and people were calling and texting, and then I just, like, this first part that you're seeing, I did the same day as the build. Like, I finished building and then I started to decorate a little bit, and I just got so tired, so I was moving a little bit slower in these portions anyways, because I was just beat tired. It was like 11 o'clock at night. It had been a long day, and I built the whole thing in a short amount of time, or well, not a short amount of time, because it was like 2 hours for one clip, and it was just like putting landscaping out. But anyways, yeah, it took a while. But speaking of some of the stuff well, I wasn't speaking about it, but anyways, the pictures here that we were looking at, and here's one of the spots where I was like, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger, and yeah, no, that won't work out. But all these pictures I imagine are from Santa traveling the world. You know, people say that Santa only works one day a year, but it's, you know, it's a year-long thing to get all those toys made for all the boys and girls of the world. And I feel like he does a little research. He goes place to place, and you know, he's a random mall Santa here or there, just making sure that he's got the right stuff for the kids. But those photos, I imagine he's like, I want to, you know, remember this beautiful thing that happened on the trip, and I want to tell my kids about it. And so, like, later on in the build, on the very, very top, I actually, like we talked about yesterday, I ended up building a teenager's bedroom at the top of the house, and I put an elephant over to one side, and I just kind of imagine that Santa said to his granddaughter one day when she's really little, you know, is there anything that you'd like me to bring home for you? And she was going through a phase with elephants, and he went to India to research more on what kiddos who have, you know, summertime Christmas prefer to have. And so he brought back her a beautiful Indian elephant from a local market. So I thought that was pretty cool. I wonder how Santa is receptive, or how, I don't know, just Santa's awesome. He must, you know, I wonder how Sim Santa would be received at like San Myshuno, the market, or like the Love Festival, like how that worked out. Mrs. Claus probably wouldn't want him going to those. Right now I'm working on the sunroom / hallway out to the workshop, and also throwing in a little bit more Christmas cheer here and there. Most of the Christmas decorations are downstairs, less and less as you go up, just because I kind of wanted the idea of like the grandkids and the younger of the two sisters didn't really want to have the responsibility of being the Christmas family, you know, of being the Clauses. And so the farther you go up, the less into Christmas spirit it is, if that makes any sense. And right now I'm working on Santa and Mrs. Claus's offices. I just thought they were really cute. I thought that Mrs. Claus, of course, would be helping out and need her own office, as well as baking cookies. I'm sure she does a lot of like the payroll stuff and things like that for Santa. So I make her a cute little office, put lots of pictures and sweet things up, because of course Mrs. Claus loves gardening as well. And then Santa's office is just like, Christmas! I love Christmas! Anyways, I did have like a little bit of a faux pas where I was gonna put like a reindeer head up there, to be like, hey, you know, his favorite reindeer passed, so he mounted him, and that was just like, that's a bad idea. That's not smart. Let's not do that. Oh, am I trying to do it still? Yeah, I was like, nope, that's bad. That's real bad. We're just gonna move on from that now. Yeah, but I did want to put, you know, a few Christmas decorations and things like that around, a couple of Christmas lighted trees, just to give it the idea. So once the first snow mod finally comes out, I can really turn this into amazing Santa land, and show you guys all the beauty. Now, I will say that I cannot wait, because I saw some of the screenshots of where I don't remember the simmer's name that does the snow mod, but when they were working on it, and they are working currently on Brindleton Bay, and it's almost ready, and I saw it and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. Brindleton Bay's even better with snow. And like I'm so excited for the first snow mod, but there's so many hints that Seasons will be the next expansion pack, and I just cannot wait to see how Maxis actually does this, because if I can give the team credit for anything, it's that Seasons to me has always been the most beautiful thing about the game. So like, I love the cats and dogs stuff. I'm always super excited for that and way too impatient, especially with this one. But here's me. This is the start of me building today, or well, yesterday for you guys. But I forgot that I completely shut down my computer because, like I said, huge lot, lots of stuff on it, starts to slow down your computer. But I forgot that I didn't have sheets on yet, so I could have probably very well turned that bedroom right there into their closet. But, you know, whatever. That would have given them so much more space. But, you know, Grandma and Grandpa Santa and Mrs. Claus don't need that. They've got this whole big old room if they need to spread out. Or big old house. Anyways, so other than cats and dogs, my favorite expansion pack has always been, and probably will always be, seasons, because I love having that affect my Sims. I loved in Sims 3 where you could get colds and it would affect how your Sim felt, or you got sunburnt. You know, just those little things really made it feel more realistic to me, and I really loved it. And so I can't wait to see what Maxis is doing with the snow and different things like that. I will say though, just like we were talking about yesterday, there are so many fabulous modders that they could like call in for this particular project and have them just help out, like these Peacemaker showers here. Like if they wanted to do an update, like a free update of, you know, random houseware stuff, or, you know, a stuff pack of bathroom stuff or plumbing stuff, something like that, where they just address the issues of the fact that we don't have double showers, and that double showers are such a common occurrence in the world, or hot, you know, make the hot tubs look a little bit more realistic, or I don't know, terrain tools. There's so many super talented modders that would be great for helping them out. And, you know, Peacemaker, First Snow Mod creator, MC Command Center's creators, those people could really help move things along, I think. So just an idea, Maxis. I'm going to keep saying it until you hear me. Anyways, so I got fun news today, which I'm not super appreciative of, but one of my best friends, we'll call her Peanut Butter, because if she listens to this, she's going to be mad at me for saying this, or calling her that. But anyways, long story on that I'm not going to tell because it's rude. But I called her to talk to her about something that was bugging me today, and we had a good conversation. Then I talked to my other friend who is, let's say, more level-headed than she is. And she told me that she found out that I was doing YouTube, and that she called her husband in to have a good laugh at my expense, because she thought I was ridiculous and that I was bad. So, dear Peanut Butter, I love you, but you're a jerk. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So you don't have to tell me in the comments that I'm awful. My best friend tells me for you. So, gosh. Right here, I try to make a little nursery happen, and I decide, because I've already put the like little sunroom extension off of the bedroom that I intended for the younger of the two sisters, I was just going to do that. So I make this into like a tiny little library, and the extension off of the youngest daughter's room is awesome, and I'm gonna have her adopt an infant, if you couldn't tell by that. So once we get to that, that's actually probably my favorite room in this whole house, and it's so simple. Like, I put a lot of pretty, you know, just bland or the same stuff into each of the rooms, because the idea is that they're not in the rooms very often, and that, you know, anybody could live in each of the rooms. The most personality does go to the teenagers' room, because teenagers spend the most time in their bedrooms, right? Right. I remember I did. So it was kind of funny. I watched a clip from Dr. Phil on YouTube, and it was this kid that was like always in his room, and he only came out to eat and different stuff, and the mom was so upset about it. And like that, all the other things that she talked about, he was an awful, awful child. But that part, I was like, oh, that sounds normal. Yeah, that sounds like a teenager to me. Because that literally, like, I would be in my bedroom unless I absolutely had to be out of it. So, you know, can't do much about that. But here is that nursery. It's super simple. There's not a whole lot going on. A lot of the same stuff is put into there. But something about it is just like, I would love to be that kid to, like, have the nursery first of the jumping camera. Anyways, to have the nursery off of the mom's room, and then she still has a bassinet in her room for the baby if she decides that like she's gonna be fussy and needs to be near mom. But it's an incredible little toddler's room. Like, it's so open and so much light and air that you could get in there for them. I feel like that's something like Mrs. Claus would make sure, like, honey, you really need to make sure your baby gets lots of fresh air. And, you know, because I feel like at some point, like Mrs. Claus probably, do you guys know about the baby cages that they would put up outside of windows on high rises in, I think, the 1920s? All right, I had to take a moment and do some editing. I noticed a few things that were off. So I completely forgot what I was talking about. I apologize for that, guys. But I know right here we are putting in one of the extra bedrooms. I kind of felt like when Santa and Mrs. Claus built this particular home that maybe they thought they were going to have more kids, or that their kids would have more children, something like that, because, you know, Santa and Mrs. Claus didn't have a whole lot of time to have their own kids, but they would have welcomed them in, probably thought about adopting, and just never got around to it, where they're hoping that their children kind of give them 10 or 12 grandkids. And so that's why the house is so big, as well as just having the opportunity to have, you know, friends stay over if like some of the workers are tired, or they come over for a party, that sort of thing. There's plenty of space. But I did decide to put the TV upstairs. You know, there's plenty of fireplaces in this build and things like that. And I just thought that maybe it would be better served to have the TV on the actual, like, sleeping area. That way when people come in, other than like general talking, there wasn't a whole lot of distractions. So, but we are actually right now upstairs in the apartment we talked about yesterday, where the oldest daughter and her husband and child, or children, we never know. I say that like I do Let's Plays or something, like there's gonna be some surprise for you guys, but it's just my normal gameplay for me. I might release some of it, but I'm nervous about editing Let's Plays and, you know, voicing over whenever I'm actually playing The Sims, because I do not typically do a whole lot of talking when doing that sort of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, but so like I said yesterday, I thought that Santa and Mrs. Claus decided, hey, she needs more privacy. She's married now. She has a kid. And so they refurbished some of the multiple bedrooms upstairs, or maybe like a ballroom. Maybe they had the ballroom on the 3rd floor. Yeah, we'll say that. So they refurbished their ballroom because they're getting a little bit older, and the elves let them know that they don't really like coming to dance parties at Santa's house, that it's just a little strange. So they refurbished that into a 3-bedroom apartment, where the very top attic of the area that didn't have access to before, it was just an architectural feature. They fixed up or shored up the structure and made that into a 3rd bedroom. So right now they have basically, or I've put in 2 teenager rooms, which clearly they only have one, but I don't know if I'm going to have them adopt or have another one, and I'll just like move things around. But I wanted it to have 2 teenagers in case you guys decided to do some gameplay and, you know, you decided that Santa's daughters or sons or whoever that you put in there, you know, could have 2 teenagers. So that's why we put that in. And it just feels kind of like a really small apartment with big bedrooms. Like, they thought, hey, you know, we don't need a whole lot of living space because we're only going to be hanging out up here some of the time, but we want to make sure that we have plenty of room to relax when it's time to relax. And maybe I should have like stolen some of the space from those bedrooms to make 2 bathrooms, like a master and a guest. I don't know. It's done now, so I'm not going back in. I sound so lazy. Sorry, guys. But I do put in a nice big soaker tub, so, you know, that's always nice. Plus, there's so many bathrooms around this house. Like, I know it's always convenient to go to the one right next to your bedroom, but you know, plenty of bathrooms, plenty of big bathrooms, so that if you wanted to lounge around in there until you got dry before you got dressed, like I'm more of a fan of doing, then you have the option, you have the room. So, that's just a weird thing about me. I don't like getting, like, if we go camping or we go to a hotel, I don't love where you have to like just walk right out and get dressed, because like in, you know, bathrooms in hotels, there's not a lot of space, or when you go camping, you know, there's multiple people that need to go in there, or in like the gym, because you can't get dressed in the shower without ruining your clothes, so you have to step out into that other little area, but you get water everywhere, and you know, I'm usually in a hurry, so I'm not a fan of that, and I try to work it out where I can just leave the gym and go directly home and shower there, because it's just more comfortable for me that way. But anyways, moving off of my weird bathing habits and, you know, slight germophobia, we are getting into the final bit of it. This is the teenager's bedroom, and I personally love this one. I think if I was a teenager, I would have thought it was super cool. She has a couple like different zones, because it is just a big square on the top of the house that they put room in for their oldest granddaughter. She's got like her bedroom area where she maybe would eventually, when her grandpa goes to China, have him bring her back like a changing screen, or maybe France, something like that. Then she's got an antique fireplace there. And she's got these cool 50s style loungers, and then the big comfy, like, I'm gonna Instagram on my business chair back there. Like selfie chair. And then this really cool rug that I feel like the Clauses would have had handmade by one of the elves for her, because they love their granddaughter so much. Then I struggled here for a little bit before I decided, like, because I wanted this to be something that Santa had brought home for her, something special, something unique that just spoke to her. And so we went with the elephant that we talked about earlier. Then I put some dress mannequins there, sort of along the idea that she has a bit of a you know, creative side like most teenagers do. But we are heading into the screenshots now, so if you liked what you saw, hit the like button, hit subscribe to see more, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.